game number 2 between Lucky and Alive.
All right, we could be in for a long one, but knowing Alive, perhaps not. To the northwest position in the Blue Trunks for Team Evil Geniuses, currently up 1 game in this best-of-3 series, looking to head on to face up against Betrayus. It is EG Alive. Versus his opponent to the southeast position, formerly of FXO, now known as For Our Utopia, in the Red Trunks playing Zerg. It is FXO Lucky. He's going to have to change his ID now. And he got all the way to Platinum League on NA. He's going to have to start again. How disappointing.
A lot of people would be saying, what a wasted account, right?
Yeah, I don't think Lucky's going to have that issue, though, somehow. I think he'll be okay.
I agree. Kind of crazy how he still has that account name, but...
Well, I mean, they only changed a couple of days ago, so everyone's still calling them FXO, and that's going to be happening for a while, I think.
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, it's just so synonymous, right? Lucky's been there forever.
That's very true. Yeah, that's... You think of 3 players. When you think of FXO, you think of Gumiho, you think of Lenok, and you think of Lucky.
Mm-hmm. And sadly, I'm sure all of them will land on their feet. But as it stands right now, we're going to see very, very macro-centric builds out of these 2 players. I mean, Whirlwind, as we were talking about, very big map because they're in cross positions. You were saying it. We're probably going to be in it for the long haul because the rush distances are just so far away.
Too long.
So it's not reasonable to say, yeah, let's do an all-in. Although maybe the all-ins that we can expect, if there is to be an all-in, is the Blue Flame Hellion build, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, because you're able to have that kind of speed to get across the map nice and quickly and gain map control where you otherwise wouldn't be able to. And we're seeing pretty macro-focused builds. We've got the same kind of idea from Lucky here. Again, the greediest build you can do aside from 3 hatch before pool, which we're not going to see here from Lucky. So he gets his gas nice and early. That means by the time this pool is done, there's almost going to be enough gas to go straight into speed, which on a map like this is so incredibly important. And Alive went for the CC first in the wall off at the top, followed by the gas. So we'll see where he decides to go from there.
I think just standard, Hellion play. That's like what we can expect. A lot of times I like to see how greedy Alive wants to be. It's just dependent on the day. I don't even know what it is. But he's going to put down his bunker there. I'm actually surprised Alive is doing this because a lot of times he's just playing so greedy, skipping the bunker and just going straight for the command center directly after this. But I guess he just saw game number 1 and was like, okay, I'm like up against a very...
He might just all in me.
Yeah.
And Lucky is a bit, when I say Lucky is a bit more traditional, that also includes the idea of I will do a 10 roach all in on you just on 24 drones, because that's what Zergs did from time to time, and it worked pretty well. And frankly, if it was... Nice catch there by Lucky, but if it wasn't held as well as it was, that should have ended the game completely, but it really was held phenomenally. And I have to wonder if Alive he must play against Lucky an awful lot. Obviously, they're both laddering on career, so it's entirely possible that he just knew Lucky's tendencies.
Yeah. I love how you said that, too. Like, a lot of people say standard. Well, isn't standard just to play macro every single game? And that might be true in ladder, but in a best of 3, that's not true at all. You want to be mind gaming as much as possible. You want to be doing these things that can get the free wins and mess with your opponent just emotionally throughout a series. And Lucky trying to do that in game number 1 didn't work out so well, but you can definitely tell that he has some repertoire of builds in his belt.
He does. He's been around forever. I remember Lucky all the way back from the IPL days, and even before that. He's been playing for so long. He's certainly a veteran, and he's got a lot of builds up his sleeve. Has not been performing that well lately, I've got to say. I've been disappointed with Lucky's. I shouldn't say performance, rather just what he's been able to achieve lately. Yeah.
I don't know what hasn't been clicking, because, when we all saw him face off against Stefano back in IPL 4, we're like, wow, this guy's good. He's really good. Yes, Stefano is like a superhuman Super Saiyan, but, Lucky definitely showed a lot of skill back then. Winning on maps like Antigua Shipyard close position. I don't even know how that is possible. But
evidently was. But yeah, we haven't seen Lucky really do an awful lot lately. He's been playing in some online cups. He played in Zotac, I believe, at the end of... It was either the end of last month or the month before. And he actually lost to Tefl, if I recall correctly, in that one, after beating players like Major. So he did pretty well in that online cup, but he has not been posting those offline results that we expect from him.
Hopefully he will be doing it over here in WCS America.
He might. He very well might. We'll see how he plays. If game 1 is ended to go by, though, that might not happen.
Yeah, he's up against the ropes a little bit here, because if he loses altogether here, he has to face off against Apocalypse. Oh my God, that's such an impossible task. It feels like. But we were saying it's swimming with sharks.
We said that
here.
for Betrayus, you know, and that evidently was not the case. So either Apocalypse was just a little bit shaky, or I don't think Apocalypse made huge numbers of mistakes in that last game. It was just a case of that engagement was so utterly crushing, and Betrayus did it so well that he really couldn't do a lot about it. But look at this game here. We've got 5 queens out from Lucky. That's a lot of queens. But I think he recognizes the possibility of a lot of Hellions coming out. Wants to get that creep spread so that he can be able to get the speed against the Hellions, as well as engage with a lot of queens and just try and keep an eye on what's going on.
Hellions going to dart into the main bait, or the natural. No, they're going to back up from here.
Thinking about it.
Kind of cool Widow Mine placements over at the 2 expansion. Just going to limit that for a good amount of time. But I don't think that's going to really bother our Zerg player over here. On the other side,
Banshee came in, didn't really do much.
Yeah, I mean, Alive's been pretty shut down, and we were talking about this in the Apocalypse game. I mean, if you invest the tech, you have to do some damage, and so far, 0 damage has been done. What has Lucky done? A very economic-centric opening. Income tab showing 64 to 44 harvesters, while 20 harvesters over his opponent. Third orbital command center just finishing right now, so you can see how far behind Alive is just from the start. And it all has to do with this aggression that has done nothing.
It's done nothing. Absolutely nothing. Very heavy queen focus there from Lucky. Helped him spread creep very well indeed. Good placement of spore crawlers, and even the Banshee hasn't really been able to get a look in. Only a single worker killed up to this point. Attempted 4th will be shut down for a little while. There we go. Pop goes the Weasel, and the Widowmine takes that one out. So not a problem there. But these Hellions are still looking for something they can do. They're picking off a creep tumor here and there, but there's a 20 worker difference already, and there's an attempted ling run by coming in here by Lucky, which probably isn't going to do anything because there's actually no 3rd base up as of yet. But even then, Alive has committed so much to doing so little, and Lucky is having a lot of fun as a result. Lucky, in fact, even just gets this extremely early burrow upgrade.
I mean, it makes sense for the mid-game stage, especially on this map.
Does, yeah.
You just want it all over the place. The Widowmine actually complicating things. Again, kills another drone. Really unfortunate. But now surrounding the Hellions. This isn't too consequential, honestly. Hellions are pretty useless.
They didn't do anything, so it's not really a stage where you actually need Hellions. They're not going to really do much. The delaying of the 4th has been great. I mean, this is actually going to kill another drone by the looks of it. So Alive's Widowmine is being the most useful thing in the world right now. But at this stage, Lucky has map control. Absolutely solid. There's only 2 Hellions on the field for his opponent. And right now, the Terrans are forced into a defensive spot, so he's going to be thinking, hey, maybe I need to start dropping. But Lucky's army is looking a bit scary right now. 50 Lings, 10 Banes, and 5 Mutas, and plenty more production on the way.
I think so, and 4th and 5th base will be grabbed pretty soon here. Again, very macro-centric from both these players. We can see Alive. Look at this production. I've just been admiring this. Like, that's so many barracks to have off of 3 base at this stage in time. You can see how Alive kind of changes everything. He actually never switched off this factory. It's the same position. He's only been making Widow Mines. Also, he got 8 barracks really, really fast before the 2nd factory. So it really shows you how much he wants to commit to that ground army. He's just going to wait until he gets probably his major upgrades, which is 1-1 at this. Wow, this is a late 1-1 timing. 13 minutes into the game. 2-2's about to finish. Telebisca, I'm really scared for Alive. I think he might get wrecked here.
He could. It depends on the Widowmine connections, I think, by the looks of it. The medevac count's not all that high. As you said, the upgrades aren't all that high. But he is hitting before 2-2 of the Zerg player. So he can make something happen. But it is going to come down to how effective these Widow Mines are. They were pretty damn good. That's a lot of Lings that died there, but is it still going to be enough Banelings come in? And these Widow Mines are going to get picked off as well. Nice move there, and the reinforcements too. This is getting cleaned up.
Alive did not run away with his Medivacs. He had the Ignite Afterburners actually used, but then just sat there.
But he dropped in the back, and he's going to try and take the pool out here, and double transfuse comes in to try and prevent that from happening. Can he save his pool?
Wow!
Oh, 2 HP. He can save the pool, and thank God, because that's really all the production he had.
Yeah, and look at that. I love this. A spawning pool is going to be thrown down at the natural base, so even if there are any attempts to kill the spawning pool.
I've been telling Zergs to do this for 3 years. Finally, they adopt the Total Biscuit advice to build a second spawning pool to prevent that from happening.
They should just make redundant stuff everywhere, man. Just why not?
Yeah, well, I mean, to play against a Terran player, it seems like you have to use your gas in such an efficient way, and like wasting gas on spare production buildings doesn't seem like the kind of thing that Zerg players do. But they have died more than once as a result of not having that. So, yeah. Hey.
But Turtle Biscuit, think of the mind games. Just think of them, okay? I put an Ultralisk Cavern right in front. It's gonna be like, oh, I want to kill that Ultralisk Cavern. Nope, my whole army is right there. Kills everything.
Proxied an Ultra Cavern in the corner with a Overlord spreading creep to allow you to build it. Genius.
It just makes sense, Turtle Biscuit. It just
we'll never see it coming.
They won't. They definitely will not see it coming.
Well, I don't think Alive was planning on seeing this coming either. 21, we're looking for Widowmine connections here. A lot of stuff killed, but at the same time, the Mutas made their way into the main base and are having a lot of fun over here.
Might be able to take out one of the E-Bays, and this has +2 on it. A beautiful pickoff, my God. And he might
he's going to try and take another, but I don't think he can do that without sacking a lot of Mutas.
That is an incredible pickoff right there. I think, honestly, that one engineering bay is, I'm going to say it, it's game-ending. There, I said it.
You think? I think it's that extreme.
I think it's that extreme. You need your +2 because if there's a Carapace upgrade on you, your Marines and Marauders cannot kill Banelings fast enough. Normally, like, your kiting is based on equal upgrades. And if that's the case, I'm just really, really scared. He's poking in here yet again, trying to kill that second E-Bay. Will not be able to take it off.
Too many mines. Alive realizes the same thing. It's like you can't lose that. Drop comes into the third base right here, trying to do some damage. Spine Crawler and a few Lings will pick that one up. Same time, a push comes in on the fourth. The Ling count is massive. 72. A lot of Banelings here as well. Frankly, those mines did more to the Terran player than they did to the Zerg. Things are looking great for Lucky here, even though Alive's sitting on a good amount of supply. Alive needs to make something happen with it.
I don't know if he can, man. I mean, he's neutered at this point. Look at this.
Yeah.
2-3. I mean, all of his aggression is pretty much thwarted. The Zerglings and Banelings are all over the map. Hive Tech is already up. The one thing, I guess, Lucky hasn't gone for that fifth base just yet, and that's pretty important. But he is motioning for that. I'm pretty sure. No, I thought that was a drone. He should be motioning for it pretty soon here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fourth base was trying to go up here for Alive, but it's blocked by a Burrowed Zergling, and that means that Lucky also knows that it's coming, and Lucky's not going to let that finish. There's no way. He is going to go for the attempted surround here, and is he going to catch anything? Widow Mines in there are going to hit. Wow, they actually hit a ton of Terran units yet again. The Widow Mines are not really playing ball here for Alive, I've got to say. The Mutas now crash in. Baneling's coming in for the back as well here. But there may be enough for Alive to hold. He traded pretty well there, even after the Widow Mines went off.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, this is the problem with fighting off creep. That's why you don't do it. These Widow Mines on the map, they can complicate things. I mean, you definitely need to pick those off. Look at this one all the way on the mid-right-hand position. 24 kills and 10 kills. That's insane.
It is a little crazy, isn't it? And Lucky is going to have problems finding them because he's trying to hunt them down with Mutas at the front, which means that they keep getting hits. I mean, he's losing a Muta here, a Muta there, taking a lot of damage, and that's problematic. And he still doesn't have that fifth base that you mentioned. Fifth is up, and it's about to be a planetary. If Alive can hold that planetary, then I think this game turns around.
I do too. I mean, just playing a macro game, even if the cost-efficient trades are actually, it's not even cost-inefficient so far. They're dead even. But of course, the resource mining is a lot better for Lucky because he has his fourth base a lot longer still. I mean, this is a situation where Zergs don't want the Terran to get you know, more expansions. You normally want to keep them on 3 bases the whole game. That's where you win the game. That's the easiest route, because going into Hive Tech gets really, really tricky. Of course, 3-3 timings, although that doesn't exist.
Lucky's going to have an anti-timing here if he's not careful. He's about to hit as +3 armor finishes for the Terran player, which means that suddenly he'll think, oh, I had an upgrade lead, and then he realizes, nope, actually, Alive is ahead of me in that respect. And it's about to kick in about 9 seconds, but maybe he hits before that. Well, those Banelings did absolutely nothing, and as a direct result, these Mutas fly headlong into a bunch of missile turrets and Widow Mines, and this is awful for Lucky.
Down to 21 Mutas, but an attack over on the right-hand side. Banelings are just chilling. They don't care.
Yeah, they're literally just chilling. They're not doing anything. That's the problem, and this was anything but here for Lucky. He ran right into a wall of death. He had a terrible engagement there, and he could certainly do damage at the 3rd base. Absolutely, I accept that. But I'm a bit worried for for whatever this base is now, it must be his 5th, is not going to live. And then I think he just barrels through to the 3rd as well. And this army from the Terran player is now terrifying, and Lucky doesn't necessarily have enough to stop it.
No, he doesn't. It's really unfortunate. Ultra's on the way out. The important upgrades, chitinous armor and 3-3 are about to finish this as well. That's going to help out things. Okay, doing damage against this planetary fortress. That could complicate things, but Marines are sprinting over. They're going to stop this from happening. Now the 3rd base is under attack. Marines and Marauders just overwhelming Lucky. Wow, this is impressive. I mean, Alive was backed up against the rope, but he's always able to be so good at this 3-base, 4-base phase. Like, this is where I'm so impressed with Alive.
Well, here come the Ultras. So they're 3-3. They're pretty damn well upgraded. Chitinous plating is not done yet, but those Ultras are going to overrun this army and drive it away. So we're seeing some really damaging blows on both sides here, which is really interesting to watch. Lucky now has the momentum back because he got that next stage of his tech. And Alive was not ready for it. Didn't have enough Marauders. Now 5 Widow Mines apiece coming out here. And Lucky needs to not eat any more Widow Mines. And he realizes that. Is driven away, but he's able to kill a few. There's 13 mines on the field already. There's about to be 18. This one gets targeted down. Hits a Ling. Nice moves there by Lucky. It was attempting to get an engagement. Those Ultras are just running into a firing line at this stage. Will they be able to do the damage they need to do?
It doesn't look like they will. Additional reinforcements sprint over here. Widow Mines and Marines alike. And Lucky just trying to stabilize. He's right now on 1 base economy. If we look at the income tab, 600 minerals per minute. It's not that much. That's 2 Ultras a minute.
And it looked even for a little while there, but we talked about this planetary being the key, and it still is. Alive is strip mining it, and it's very difficult to engage effectively against that planetary. So Lucky is saying to himself, oh, well, I was ahead until I lost 2 bases, and now I can't mine using my full complement of drones, which means that the Terran's just going to steamroll ahead in terms of economy.
Economy, and then, of course, production. You can see it, 170, 180 to 140.
So many mines.
Army.
So many mines.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, Banelings going headlong. They don't want to be charging, because that's what ends up happening. And there it is,
There's
GG.
the GG.
Alive.
I think you maybe Lucky might want to move away from the Baneling against Alive, because it did not work out well for him this game at all.
He lost way too many Banelings to Widow Mines. That's what it comes down to.